Hey everybody, this is D Hunter for another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the Fondjoy Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom Mera. Fondjoy figures are labeled as 8-inch scale, but they're really more like 7-inch scale, just a tad larger. I have a lot of the Batman figures from Fondjoy, and they are fantastic, and I've been wondering what Mera's like for a while. I want to give a huge shout out to my boy, Madman from Instagram. When you're in the toy community, sometimes you find some really cool people out there. I purchased a single figure off this guy, and he sent me a ton of freebies like Fondjoy Mera, as well as some other stuff. And tell you the truth, at least 2 of the figures he sent, without asking me first, without charging me or anything, were 2 figures that I really, really wanted, including Mera and the Naughty or Die Santa Claus. So let's take a look at the packaging. As you can see at the top, DC officially licensed merchandise. Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, Fondjoy Mera. This is played by Amber Heard in the Aquaman movies. One side of the package, Aquaman, Lost Kingdom. Other side, same thing. At the back, here's the figure posed up with all her accessories, different display options, and there's her barcode if it helps. So with no further ado, let's open her up. Alright, now that we have this figure out of the package, here she is with all of her accessories laid out. We have a display stand, 5 alternate hands totaling 7 interchangeable hands, 2 water effects, a crown, and then a trident. Before I load all that, let's talk about and check out the figure. So this is Mera from Aquaman and Aquaman 2, played by Amber Heard. This is the Fondjoy figure. Advertised at 8-inch scale, but usually clock in considerably smaller than that, and that is why I get them. I got her to enhance my McFarlane collection, or add to my Aquaman collection. In this video, we're going to take a look at the figure, the accessories, her articulation, and we'll see what Aquaman figure she fits in with. McFarlane, DC Direct. So let's take a closer look. Starting with her face. Now, it's hard to explain. I can kind of see Amber Heard in there, but it's like really soft, kind of weak. The hair is red. Looks like it's one solid color. Doesn't really have a lot of detail there. I mean, the face looks good, kind of pretty, but just something is definitely off. I don't know. It's like she's lifeless. It's toyetic, sort of like a mannequin. I don't know. It just looks kind of soft. The eyes are just, I don't know. Looks kind of weird. It does look good at the same time. Now her outfit is really cool. First of all, the color is fantastic. It's visually pleasing. It pops. But look at the detail on there. The texturing is amazing. Just feel all over this thing. It is great. Little sort of forearm gauntlets. Hands seem a little on the small side. Double jointed knees. Double jointed elbows. I'd say it's a really good Mera figure. It's going to be nice to add this to my Aquaman collection. I believe I have a couple Mera figures, but this one is definitely the best. And a closer look at her face and head sculpt. I mean, it looks good, but it's like expressionless or lifeless. It looks like maybe like an AI image. It's a good Mera figure. And then here's a figure, broken down as far as she can go, with all of her removable parts detached. Now let's check out her accessories, starting off with the boring stuff, the display stand. The display stand comes in 2 separate pieces. When put together, it looks like this. We have a sort of oval base with the Aquaman logo, says Mera. At the bottom, it can rotate, hinge in the middle, hinge near the top, rotate at the top, and it has this clamp to hold your figure. Now let's look at her hands. She has a total of 7 of them, 3 left hands and 4 right hands. Here she is with her first pair of hands. These are her fists. Here she is with her second pair of hands. These are some semi-open hands. I think these are for the water effects. Here's her third pair of hands. This is a completely flat and open hand. And she has 1 additional right hand. This is a grippy hand, hold or trident. And then we have her crown or tiara. It is gold. It's got the Aquaman logo at the front. It's not exactly made of hard plastic. It's got some give to it. Here she is with the crown attached. Honestly, I don't think it looks that good on her hair. Here's her trident. This thing looks really good. It's made of a pretty hard plastic. It's not gummy. It's a little bit bendable, but not by much. You can see the trident here. It's got the little forks on top. It's a pretty good looking and feeling accessory. Here's a look at Mera holding her trident. And then here she is holding and getting ready to throw it. And last, we have these water effects. They're pretty much the same. They're cast in a semi-transparent blue plastic. And it's going to be water sort of running up her arms. The back of the package shows her with these water effects like this, just sort of coming up her arms. But I expected it to be something more like this, kind of coming out her hands, flowing around her body, like she's getting ready to sort of, I don't know, shoot water at somebody. Of course, it'd be nice if they were considerably longer. Now they've taken a pretty good look at the figure and her accessories. Let's check out her height. From bottom to the top of her head, standing about 7.1 inches tall, which is perfect. She'll fit in exactly right with the McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Fondjoy advertises, or claims to be, 1/9 scale, 8-inch scale, but honestly they're closer to 1/10 scale, and that is right up my alley. Suits my taste perfectly. And for articulation, I just really like the way this body feels. The color scheme is great. It just feels really, really cool and interesting. It's like Braille. Start with the head. You can rotate from side to side, but not that much. The hair really obstructs it. Now the hair itself is in two separate pieces, and it has articulation. It can move around a little bit, which is quite interesting, but it just sort of helps you be able to have her look up and not be stuck looking like this. It's kind of a cool concept right there. The head can rotate around, the hair kind of stays in place, and the hair can move as well. It looks like she has articulation at the top of the neck and the bottom of the neck, but God, you don't get much out of that. You can rotate about that much, up and down that much, barely tilt. Shoulders on a ball joint, it goes about 90 degrees, up, down, around. She does have that sort of butterfly ring type thing between her shoulder and chest. It doesn't seem to really be moving much. A little bit there, just giving her an extra range of motion. No bicep cut, which is definitely disappointing. No rotation in the elbow, which is also disappointing. So you really can't move her forearm to the side at all. Double jointed elbow goes all the way back. The wrist can rotate. It's also hinged. It is disappointing to have this. Just kind of makes it harder to get in certain poses. You know, torso here, ball joint, rotate around. Forward and back. Another one on her waist. Rotate about that much. Forward and back a lot more. Legs complete as splits. These are drop down hips. They look really bad when you put them together, but just push them back up there. Then go forward about that far. Back not much. Double jointed knees. And her ankle. Forward and back. Rotate. Tilt, rock at least a little bit, and to articulation. Here's a look at Mera underwater, standing in front of some ruined buildings of Atlantis. Now let's check her out next to some of their action figures, starting off with some of their Mera and Aquaman figures. Here's the Fondjoy Mera, next to the Mattel DC Multiverse version, and then next to the DC Direct Bombshells version. So here are all the different Mera figures that I have, by Mattel, Fondjoy, and DC Direct. Here she is, next to the Zack Snyder Justice League, Jason Momoa, McFarlane DC Multiverse Aquaman, which is a pretty large figure compared to the rest of the Multiverse figures, but honestly it looks really good next to her. I expected the Fondjoy Mera to be about that size. The fact that she's shorter, she fits in with him perfect. Then, with the Aquaman 2 movie Jason Momoa Aquaman, who also scales up about perfect next to her. These two are a great pair. Here she is, next to a couple of DC Direct Aquaman figures. She's maybe just a little bit taller, but you could fudge it in. I like tall women anyway. Then, with a couple of Mattel Aquaman figures. Now let's check her out, next to some other Fondjoy figures, and I don't have that many. I got the Batman-related characters they've released recently. Here she is, next to the Ben Affleck Batfleck from Batman vs. Superman. Then, next to the Robert Pattinson Batman from The Batman. And here she is, Next to the Justice League version of Batfleck. I'm not 100% sure what the next one is, but I have ordered the armored Batman from Batman vs Superman. I don't have the other Fondjoy figures. I really stick to the Bat characters mostly, but I want a Mera because McFarlane doesn't make one, and I thought she'd be a great addition to my DC collection. And the figure's pretty nice. Has its flaws, but I really like the outfit. And here's my entire Fondjoy collection. 3 Batman figures and Mera. Not really sure what else I need exactly. I know there's a Cyborg, there's an Aquaman, there's some older Fondjoy figures. Drop me a line in the comments below. Which Fondjoy figures do you think that I need for adding to my collection? As I understand it, most of the older ones are pretty much crap. I heard some good and some bad things about Harley Quinn, but some horrible things about the original Henry Cavill Superman and the Christian Bale Dark Knight Batman. Now let's check her out, next to some action figures from different various companies, so we can see how she fits in, both scale and style-wise, in case you don't know which lines you can mix her with. Since she's a Fondjoy figure, they're advertised as 8-inch scale, but I'd say they're more like the 7-inch scale. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the larger action figure lines I collect, and work way smaller. Here she is with some Jack-specific wrestling figures, and some Diamond Select toys. Here she is with some McFarlane and DC Direct figures. And here she is next to my broken-ass phone. Then, with both some Mattel and Jazzwares wrestling figures. And now, with some NECA and Mezco figures. Next, with some Mattel and Mafex DC figures. And finally, with some Hasbro Marvel Legends and SH Figure Arts action figures. So overall, this is a really nice Mera figure. I was hesitant to jump into the Fondjoy. I stay away from Beast Kingdom because I collect 6 and 7-inch scale figures. Those are 8-inch scale. Fondjoys advertise the same way, but they're a lot smaller, so they fit into my collection. This Mera figure just looks really nice. Her outfit is fantastic. I can't stop feeling her up. It feels like Braille. The outfit is just so good, and it feels really good in your hands. Her face is just expressionless. It's like lifeless. I don't even know how to explain it. It doesn't look bad exactly, but it's just like she's zoned out. It doesn't really work in an aggressive stance, a neutral stance, really any stance. Her accessories are pretty cool. Trident, very good quality. The water things, they could have been a little better. And the crown, it's kind of a disappointment. If I were to rate this figure, I want to give her an 8, but she's probably not worth it. So I'm going to bump it down to a 7.5. But it is a really nice figure, and I think her outfit really pops, and it's really, really well done. There are some disappointing parts of the articulation, mainly missing the bicep cut, or some sort of rotation in the elbow. So this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching this video, and I will talk to you guys real soon.